Alright guys, I just got a call from the law firm and apparently we've got a problem with the guest network. Our laptops, which was working before and we configured ourselves in the previous video, isn't connecting to the network anymore. So today we're going to jump back into this lab, troubleshoot it step by step, and figure out exactly what happened. Now, if you've been building this lab with me, you might actually be seeing the exact same problem. Think you know what's causing it? Drop your guess in the comments before we start troubleshooting and let's see if you got it right. Let's get started. All right, so according to the call from the law office, apparently we have a problem with the guest network. The guests are able to connect to the Wi-Fi, but they're not getting network access. And the weird thing is, this was working before. We've built it. So let's go through this and figure out exactly what happened. All right, I'm going to start directly from one of the affected laptops. Let me try to ping the default gateway first. Ping 192.168.50.1. Request timed out. Now, let's try to do this with the other laptops. Now, one thing I do want to point out here, 192.168.50.1 is our default gateway, but because of the guest access list we created in the previous video, traffic from the guest network to our internal 192.168.00/16 network is supposed to be blocked. So this ping by itself really doesn't tell me much. What I really want to know is whether this laptop actually has a valid IP address. Let's check. Interesting. We don't have an IPv4 address. So right away, that changes things. This really isn't a routing problem yet. This laptop isn't even completing DHCP. Let me try DHCP again. Nothing. All right. So let's start working our way through the network. I'm going to jump over to the access switch first. Let me run show VLAN brief. All right. VLAN 50 is there. And our access point is sitting in the correct VLAN. So that looks good. Let me check the trunk. Show interface trunk. This is showing VLAN 50 is allowed across the trunk. Okay. So from the access switch side, nothing really looks wrong. Let's move over to the layer 3 switch. First, I'm going to make sure VLAN 50 exists here as well. Show VLAN brief. Yep, VLAN 50 is there. Let me check the layer 3 interfaces. Show IP interface brief. VLAN 50. Up, up. Alright, so the VLAN exists. The SVI is up, the gateway is configured, the trunk looks good. So what are we missing? Let me check something else. We configured an access list on this guest network because obviously we don't want guests reaching the attorney's computer, printers, management network, or anything else internally. So let me make sure nothing weird happened with that. We are denying the guest subnet access to the internal 192.168.0.0/16 network. Then we're permitting the guest network everywhere else. That looks right. I'm not really seeing anything there that jumps out at me. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. Let's check DHCP itself. Because we already know the laptop isn't receiving an address, I'm going to look at the DHCP pool. Here's our guest Wi-Fi pool. We have available addresses. The network is correct. Let me look at the actual DHCP configuration. Okay, network 192.168.50.0. Subnet mask is correct. Default router is 192.168.51. DNS is 8.8.8.8. Excluded addresses look good. That all looks right. Let me check the bindings. Show IP DHCP binding. I'm not seeing a new lease for this laptop. So the pool is there. There are addresses available. But for whatever reason, this client isn't completing the DHCP process. Let me go back to the laptop and try one more time. DHCP. Nothing. Okay. So let's think about this. The laptop is connected to the Wi-Fi. The access port is in VLAN 50. VLAN 50 is crossing the trunk. The SVI is up. The DHCP pool is configured. There are addresses available. So what could actually stop the DHCP traffic? Wait a minute. Hold on. I want to look at the ACL again. Let me go back. Okay. Here's our deny statement. And then right underneath it, we have this permit. Permit IP 192.168.50.0000255 any. Wait, that's it. Okay, that's it. I think I see what's happening. Look at the source network on this permit statement. It's permitting traffic from 192.168.50.0/24. But when this laptop initially sends out a DHCP request, does it have a 192.168.50 address yet? No, it doesn't have an IP address. That's the entire reason it's sending the DHCP request. So even though this permit statement looks like it allows the guest network everywhere else, the client can't match this statement yet. And we never explicitly permitted DHCP traffic. So that DHCP request comes in, doesn't match this permit, and then eventually hits the implicit deny at the bottom of the ACL. There it is. That's our problem. And that also explains why this was easy to miss. When we first look at the ACL, everything looks completely normal. Block the guests from the internal network, permit them everywhere else. But the ACL is expecting the client to already have an IP address. The client needs DHCP before it can get that IP address. So we basically created a situation where the laptop needs an address in order to send the traffic that allows it to get an address. When we originally built this lab, we configured DHCP before we created the guest access list. So at that point, the guest laptops had already successfully received their IP address. Later on, we added the ACL to restrict the guest network from accessing the internal law firm network. Everything still appeared to be working because those laptops already had valid DHCP leases. But there was something we missed in that access list. Once the lab was restarted and those laptops needed to request an IP address again, that problem finally showed itself. Okay, so let's fix this. I'm going to go into the guest access list. Make sure you are configuring the correct access list. Permit. This tells the access list allow traffic that matches the rest of the statement. UDP. This tells the access list what layer 4 protocol we are allowing. DHCP uses UDP, not TCP. Any, this represents the source IP address. EQ. This means equal to. We're telling the ACL that we want to match a specific UDP port number. Cisco uses this name for UDP port 68. DHCP clients use UDP port 68. So this portion means traffic coming from any IP address using UDP source port 68. That's our DHCP client. You can think of it as DHCP client UDP port 68. Second, any. Now we get to the destinations. So this means the DHCP request can be sent towards any destination IP address. That is useful because the first DHCP discover is normally a broadcast. At this point, the laptop doesn't necessarily know where its DHCP server is. Second, EQ, which means equal to a specific port. But this time we're specifying the destination UDP port. Boot PS, which means the server. Cisco uses this name for UDP port 67. DHCP servers listen on UDP port 67. So this means traffic going to UDP destination port 67, the DHCP server port. Put the whole command together. It is saying permit UDP traffic coming from any source IP address using DHCP client port 68 going towards any destination IP address on DHCP server port 67. Or to say this very simple, we're allowing DHCP clients to send requests to a DHCP server. So now let's verify the ACL one more time. And there it is. And look at this. It's already showing 4 matches. That means 4 packets have already matched that DHCP permit statement, which is a good sign. Now I'm going to go back to one of our laptops, and I'm not changing anything. I'm just going to check the IPv4 address. And there it is. We finally have an address, a subnet mask, a default gateway, a DNS. Perfect. Let me test another guest laptop because I don't want to see one laptop work and immediately assume the entire problem is fixed. DHCP, and there we go, a valid address. Perfect. But before I call this fixed, there's one more thing I want to check. Remember, we created this ACL for a reason. Guest users should not be able to reach the law firm's internal networks. So, I want to make sure that by fixing the HCP, we didn't accidentally break our security policy. Let me try reaching one of our protected internal addresses. Let's ping the printer. Blocked. Perfect. So now DHCP works. The guest devices are receiving a valid IP address, and our internal law firm network is still protected. And this is exactly why troubleshooting can get interesting. We looked at the access list earlier. It looked fine. We moved on. We checked the VLAN. We checked the trunk. We checked the SVI. We checked DHCP. Everything looked correct. But once we actually stopped and thought about what the DHCP client was doing, that is when it clicked. So the big takeaway here is don't just look at a configuration and ask yourself whether it looks right. Think about the actual traffic. What is the source? What is the destination? What protocol is being used? And at what point in the process is that traffic being generated? And there we go, problem solved. What made this so interesting is that when we originally built this network, everything appeared to be working perfectly. It wasn't until a new DHCP request was sent that this problem finally revealed itself. If you enjoyed this troubleshooting video and found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.